All right, hello and welcome to episode 47 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. I'm your co-host, Juan Martinez. And to my left or to my right, it's Jacques Slave.
Yeah, yo, welcome to the podcast. Today we've got a mixed bag. That's how I'm gonna say it. It's a mixed bag today on the show. A lot of interesting things to talk about, and I can't wait to get into it. I'll leave it at that.
Well, okay, we'll leave it at that. I think everybody, once they realize what we're talking about later on in the podcast, are going to be like, so that's what they meant by that. But we're going to start out with
it's a mixed bag.
Yeah. It's a mixed bag and everything. But Jacques, you had to record the podcast on your own. What did you think about it? No, not the podcast.
The show. Record the show. Yeah. Yes. It was a good show today. Lots of cool things in the episode today. I like the ending of the show. I don't want to give anything away. I guess. Well, I guess technically they've already
watched
seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already. I should say it's already published. We can't guarantee that they've watched it, but we can say that it's been published. And you should be watching Hard Pass. If you're not, this is your sign. Here's your sign to watch Hard Pass, because I would be very disappointed if you weren't watching Hard Pass. But it's a good show. We didn't talk about some of the things that we're going to talk about today for the podcast. But, we talked about things.
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 We are terrible podcasters right now because we're not giving away stuff right now. But
yeah, we're not. But we're not supposed to. We talked about Anthony Edwards a little bit.
Yeah.
We talked about Sabrina a little bit. We talked about the Air Jordan 15 a little bit. A lot of bit of the Air Jordan 14. And we did talk about something that we're going to talk about today, the Undefeated Force. We talked about those, and we're going to talk about those in the podcast.
Yes.
Give a little more, some deeper storytelling around those, which should be fun.
Right. And that ended up being like our pick of the week, because how could it not be? It's arguably maybe one of the biggest releases of the year, and it's happening next week, August 2nd.
Next week.
The Air Jordan 4 Undefeateds are returning, and there's a lot of people excited for it. Of course, there's also a lot of people who are like, why bring them back? Jordan Brand's running out of ideas. There's all that, that fuss about it. But let's start with like our takes right now, Jacques. Like, it's been 20 years. Do you think it should come back?
Oh, we're going there already.
Let's start it there. Let's just start it there.
Yeah. That's a funny question, because do I want a pair? Yes, because I just, there were only 72 pairs originally released. So, it's very limited to who was able to actually get a pair. Actually, a friend of the program, I lost his name. I lost my brain.
I know a friend of the program who did actually get them.
That's what I'm talking about. Airmag, yes.
Okay. Mark, yes.
Mark, I couldn't think I was.
We're gonna edit this so we don't look that bad.
Yeah, it's just gonna be me that looks bad. Sorry, Mark. My apologies. He got a pair of the original 72 pair, and like they sell for crazy amounts. And like I think for me, it's not the fact. I don't care how much they sell for. That's not important to me. As you hopefully the audience knows, like I'm not like the sneaker resale and all that. That's just not where I get down. I know about it. I know I'm aware of the world. I just don't. I just don't politic in that world, so to speak. I just want one because of the relevance. Like it's because of what it represents and what's happened since then. Like it's probably one of the most important Jordan releases of the last 30 years, let's say. You know what I'm saying? The Jordan is 40, so of the last 30, let's say, okay, so if the Jordan is 40, let's say it's of the last 25 years. Let's get past the 14. After the 14, things kind of, went whatever they were, whatever they were. But since then, since the 14, this is probably the biggest Jordan sneaker that dropped because of everything that came after it, the collaborations that came after it, the interpretations of Jordan that we saw after it, all were sparked by this one shoe. And like that can't be understated, because sneaker culture, I don't think, would be what it is today in the form and then the way that the world sneaker world works, were it not for this collaboration happening with Jordan way back then. So in that, with
I agree.
that being said, I want a pair because of that. I want a pair because of what that means and the historical significance. Even if it's not the original OG pair, having the replica or the remake, or whatever it is, whatever we're gonna call it, the retro, I guess, that seems pretty monumental to me.
And I agree. I agree that it should come back. And I agree because I look at it from the perspective of I wasn't super aware of it when it first came out. It was like maybe a year, 2 or 3, maybe even after the fact, that it was like, oh, Undefeated had a thing with Jordan and it was a super big deal. And oh, I want a pair of those. Oh, there were only 72. Oh, they're worth how much? Oh, well, then I guess I'm just never going to own one.
Right.
So,
Right.
but
Yep.
but for
Yep.
me, I'm not disappointed that I don't have a pair. It's just, oh, that's just the way the world works. That's just how the game is played. Is I missed out the first time. If it comes back, great. If it doesn't come back, it's no, I don't get bothered by it, because I've always lived by the mentality with sneakers is like, there's always next week. There's always going to be something else that's going to replace it for me in terms of like, oh, I need to have that. So it's always something new when it comes to like sneakers. It's when I miss out on
Right.
something, big deal, big whoop, right? Because and the same thing goes with like OGs or something, or original colorways and stuff. It's like, yeah, they come out and I miss it. It's like, oh, well, they'll bring it back eventually. Like nothing is, and
Yeah.
it doesn't matter to me that it's sacred and all of that stuff. Like none of that stuff is particularly important to me. It's like that I get it, I don't, and if I don't, I know eventually it'll come back once more. Like whether it's 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 10 years from now, it doesn't really bother me. Like with the flu games, I think the last time they retroed before the one that was last year or something, it was like 2015, and I didn't get this particular retro. I was like, well, I'll see it again in 10 years. So,
Yeah.
it's not a
Yeah.
big deal
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
So, to hear that they're coming back for me is like great news, because I kind of think of it as like you said, you're right. The Air Jordan, the Undefeateds, they influenced so much afterwards. Like everything, it influenced it. Like, it was like everything that came afterwards was highly influenced by the Undefeated Fours, whether it was the colors or just how we look
Yep.
at basketball shoes. That became more of a lifestyle product. Like all of it is highly influential. And I kind of think of it as like, what if Nintendo never, what if Nintendo had Super Mario Brothers 1 and they never brought it back? That would be weird, wouldn't it? Like, whether it's through different means, because they've brought it back so many times through the years, whether it's through their online service, whether it was those little Game and Watch thingies that they brought back like a couple years
Yeah.
ago. So
Yeah.
they've brought back Mario 1 in so many different ways. It will be wild for me if like in 2025 I was like, wait, do you know they never brought it back from like the 80s, and there's no legal way to play it. That would be so bizarre to
Right.
me. So for sneakers it's no different, like especially with something like the Undefeated Fours, especially because it was so rare the first time around. And there's enough noticeable changes, the biggest one being that it's going to have the Nike Air on the back.
Yes.
And I think we made a joke. I don't know if it was on Heat Check or Hard Pass. We made the joke of like, this is the first time ever in the history of Jordans that people are going to be like, I don't want Nike Air. I want the Jumpman.
Right. Right.
It's because we clamored for it so long when Nike put the Jumpman on the back of a lot of the original of those retros. They had the Jumpman and people rallied against that. They hated it. And then they brought back Nike Air.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, cool, cool, cool. But might be the one time, this might be the only exception where people are like, nah, man, I want the Jumpman.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes me, a lot of the arguments were always like, oh, I don't want the Jumpman, I want Nike Air, on any shoe, really, on any Jordan retro, really, on any like
Mm-hmm.
Jordan 4 retro, they always want the Nike Air, regardless if it's an OG colorway or not. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I think it goes to show like it just depends on the silhouette. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, are the collaboration in this instance? Like, if Fragment did one with the Jumpman, would people still be crazy about it, or would they be like, oh, okay, it's a Fragment collab though, or does like the Unions have the Jumpman on the back, or they're like, yeah, well, it's a Union collab. You know what I mean? It's okay to have the Jumpman as opposed to the Nike Air. People really pick and choose when that Jumpman versus the Nike Air is okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in terms of that though, you mentioned Union, and like ever since then, we've just had this explosion of collaborations.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like, and it all started, well, yeah, I mean, technically it did first start with the Undefeateds. And we're now at this point where collaborations are a dime a dozen. A lot of it has kind of lost its luster. Does bringing it back
Right.
kind of contribute to that? Contribute to the fact that it's no longer special. Collabs just
I
in
don't.
general.
I don't think so. Like, I'm starting to come around on this like collabs aren't special approach. I think collabs are special when they're still special when they're done right. And that's
Mhm.
like few and far between. You can no longer like mail in a collab. I think that's what we're frustrated with, the mailing in of collabs versus doing a really dope collab. I think that's where
Right.
the difference is. So I don't think it waters it. I don't think it does anything to water it down. I don't think it does anything either way, good or bad. I think because this shoe exists in such a silo because of what it means, that it like it's not as, I guess, petty, for lack of a better word, of like, is this going to make the petty meter of we're tired of collabs kind of thing.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I kind of see it as like in this specific instance, like I think we kind of have to take it on a case by case basis. But in this specific instance, I don't think it would diminish the legacy of the original release. It doesn't
No.
diminish Undefeated in any way. I don't think so, and
Nope.
I don't think it harms the idea of collabs being special or not. I just think this is like a singular event, and I think we kind of have to treat it as like its own like thing. And it's like a
Mhm.
bubble. Like everything that happens here doesn't really apply to anywhere else, just because of like how much it matter. Like just because of like the importance of it. Anything that happens around it, outside of it, I don't really think it's like it applies in this case. Like we just kind of have to treat it as its own thing. Now,
Right.
what do you actually think about the actual sneaker though? Because when I first saw it, I remember thinking, huh, I could never imagine Jordans looking like original Jordans, like from the old days, from like the original era Jordans looking that way. Were you shocked by them when you first saw them, or were you like, oh, I could see myself rocking those, or like it makes sense, like it makes sense that we're in a different time now. What do you think? What did you think
Mm.
actually when you first saw them?
That's a great way to phrase it, as because up until then, it seeing Jordans in like that color structure and that for, yeah, I think, hmm, I don't know if I was off put by it. Like, I'm not a
Mm,
super traditionalist when it comes to my Jordans. Like, I get it and I understand the people that have that perspective, but I'm not like, this isn't true to the colors. This isn't true to the theme. This isn't true. Like, I'm not from that world, because I think I'm always trying to blend, like, because of the creative side of me, I'm always trying to blend things and make something new. So for me, I think that's more of what it represented than anything else.
hmm. Right. I feel like with particular those Jordan 4s, they did kind of like sparkle like, oh, that's different. That's a little I, off-putting, maybe not be the correct term, but it's definitely like I couldn't imagine myself rocking those at the first, but then like as the years go along, I'm like, no, that's perfectly fine. And then we've
Yeah.
seen, and that's the thing that we also talked about on the show, is like they've kind of like that undefeated four in particular, that particular style, that particular color blocking. When you see it on other shoes, even if it's not undefeated, you think undefeated. Like it's kind of
Yes.
that particular color scheme has been adopted as undefeateds. Like I remember there was a KD whatever 6, 5, whatever it was, like 4, and it came out with a
Mhm.
similar color blocking, and everybody assumed right away it was Undefeated, even though it wasn't an Undefeated collab, which
Yeah.
I think is like a testament to how legendary, iconic, enduring, everlasting, whatever you want to call it, is just a testament to how important it is. That it's not like, Chicago ones or bread ones or anything like that. Those are tied to the shoe. It's tied to the shoe, but this is like a different brand working with Jordan, and somehow they've managed to adopt that and, like, take it, make it their own. So that, and it doesn't even matter if it's like a different brand that does it, whether it's Puma, Adidas, Prada, or any brand. If you see olive green, black, and orange blocked in a particular way, you're gonna think Undefeated. And I think that that's another thing that kind of came out of this, was just like the influence of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the influence of, I think, of Undefeated. I think that color scheme is so synonymous with Undefeated because of their like military sort of style to like how everything that they put together kind of works.
Mhm.
So I think this definitely feel like, outside of the Jordan 4, it's kind of like an undefeated thing for to use this, like that dark color scheme with that safety orange. It
Yeah.
gives off military hunting sort of vibes, and I think that's why people resonate with it, and why people like spot, if they spot it somewhere else, they think it's an undefeated thing, just because like those colors are just associated. It's like red and white associated with Coke, or red, white, and blue associated with Pepsi, or
Yep.
black and green is associated with Shake Shack. You know what I mean? Can you tell I'm hungry?
Is there a Shake Shack nearby? I didn't even know. Now that I think about it, I'm like, is there a
Not
Shake
even
Shack nearby,
close.
you guys?
Not even close. Closest
Oh
one to here, I think,
man.
is LAX.
Oh wow. I'm kind of glad for the one that's relatively close by near me. Shake Shack, pretty good,
No,
guys.
I
Pretty
think
good.
actually we got one in Hollywood. I think there's one in Hollywood. I'll take that back.
Oh, okay, okay. That's a little
Which
bit.
is
That's a little
which
bit
is which
closer.
is
It's
just
still a
as
drive. It's
just
still
as
a
far for me. Yeah,
still a
yeah.
drive. Still a drive. But hey, man. Every once in a while, you treat yourself to a Shake Shack. You're like, pretty worth it. Pretty worth it. Yeah, yeah. No, no big
It
deal. No
is
big deal.
100%, 100%.
All right. So, what is gonna be like? Because it is a big deal. It's a big release. What is the hope when it drops? Are you just gonna sign up for the raffle? Are you maybe making a phone call or two? Like,
So
what is Jacques Slay's
I'm
really
definitely making a phone
strategy?
call or two. I'm definitely making a phone call or two because I'm not going to be in town. I'll be on vacation. So I
Yes.
don't get back until the 3rd. So the
Hmm.
2nd, I'll be out on a boat somewhere with no internet access. So it's going to be nearly impossible for me to get a pair. So I'm going to make some calls, some friends, and see if I can get somebody to hold me a pair. I
Yep.
doubt it's going to happen because of how rare they are, but
Hmm.
you got to at least put the call in.
It's
So
gonna be at least
I
more
might
than
be buying a
72.
pair at resale. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's gonna be
I
more
might
than
be buying a
guys.
pair
It's gonna be
at
more than
resale.
72. Don't worry about that. But it's still not gonna
Yeah,
be easy. It's not gonna be.
not
It's
not
gonna be.
even not even close
No.
to being easy.
This is not one of those
Not
situations
even.
where, Jordan retros are sitting. Oh, life, what is it? Nature is healing and all that stuff. This is
Nature
not
is
one of
here.
those
Yeah,
cases.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This is not one of
Yeah,
those
I haven't
times. Like
seen
you see
any of the
them.
numbers for them. I know a lot of,
Uh,
usually they post like the numbers, like, oh, it's going to be 10,000 pairs or 5,000 or whatever the number is. I haven't seen any of those sort of posts yet, but I'm sure they're coming sooner or later, and I'll be butthurt about it.
if I had to guess, it's probably in the low. It's not 10,000. It's probably 5,000 would be stretching it. Even I think. Like I think if we're looking at like
Yeah.
that range between like 2 to 5,000, somewhere between there. I know that's a big stretch. That's a big like swath, but I think I'm not like one of those analysts who, like, or these people on these, like, the sneaker accounts who are like just calculating every little thing. So I just assume like, 2,000, 5,000, same difference to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Really, basically. So hopefully the sneaker app doesn't do me dirty. We'll see.
Oh well, God, I can't even. You know what? I can't even
Ah.
remember the last time I went on sneakers app for not for
Oh,
non
really?
hard pass purposes. Yeah, no, gosh, I can't even remember the last time I scored something on sneakers app. It might have been it must have been like a Kobe or something. I forget what it was. But yeah, no, it's been a minute. It's just because of just
Yeah.
and part of it is like the lack of interest, and part of it is just because it finally did. It finally did defeat me. Like it finally, Sneakers app
Yep.
finally did the job of crushing my spirit, shall we say?
Yeah. I
And
mean, I
not
especially since I found a local shop. I found a local shop that's not too far from me. It just made sense to go there and do it because I
right.
can pretty much guarantee myself I'd get a pair as opposed to the malaise of sneakers app or whatever the word is I'm looking for. Like now I
So
got to look on
congratulations,
sneakers app
Sneakers
and
app.
see
You
what's
did
on
it.
here.
You actually did do it. Like I've never admitted it until now. But yeah, no, I am this is not an undefeated, this is a defeated. I
Yeah.
have given up on you. And I don't care any gimmicks you try, any of this like, if you're a loyal customer and all that stuff and blah blah blah. It's like, nah, you can't go get me there. It is funny though.
I mean,
Do you try when you buy something at the Nike store? Do you ever like give them your Nike pass or something, or
I
just
haven't
show like
bought
your
anything at
tracksuit?
a Nike store in years. Like
Okay, so
directly
you're
at a
okay.
Nike store.
So okay.
Yeah, I can't remember last time I bought something directly from a Nike store. It's been a
Mm.
long time.
It is funny though when I do that. Whether it's for me or for like someone else, I buy like a present or something. What was it? Maybe sometime late last year, must have been a Christmas present. I open up the Nike Pass or whatever, and I show them the
Yeah.
thing, and it does say like how long you've been a member, and mine
Yeah.
says 2002.
Oh wow. That's
I
awesome.
know. That is wild. I've had
I don't
that
know what
same
does
email
mine
for
say.
I can't even like I was like, wait, I've had that email for that long?
Mine probably says like 2000. I've definitely changed email addresses since then.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah, yeah,
in the
yeah.
Nike app. It's not that's in the Nike app, not the sneakers app. I'm
The
looking at the
Nike app. Yeah,
sneakers
yeah,
app.
yeah.
It's in the
It's
Nike
it's
app.
that Nike Pass or whatever. So you just show it to them, and I don't even know what it does. It just like hey, it just keeps. Or maybe it's kind of like a proof of purchase or something. So say I lost a receipt, I can just show them, hey, here I bought this here or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, mine says
hey,
2011.
2011.
I'm about to say
Wow, I predid.
I will say I know I changed I know I changed email addresses.
Yeah, but man, we've been doing this for a while, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even 2011 was that 15 years, 14 years?
Yeah.
That's
2002 is
nothing to shake.
23 years ago. That is wild to think
That's
about.
that's crazy.
I was, what was I?
That's awesome though.
Freshman? Was that like freshman in college or something or whatever? Anyways. But yeah, no,
Yeah, I probably had
undefeated
like
four.
a Hotmail address or originally or something. Probably had like the Hotmail or something
Oh God,
crazy.
I think I had left AOL and all of those behind by the time we got to the 2000s. I think I'm not 100% right. I was already on that Yahoo, almost getting to that Gmail, like when they were giving out Gmail invites.
Yeah.
Yeah, those kinds of things. But anyways,
Yeah.
undefeated Jordan 4s.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can get a pair. I don't know who I would make a phone call to. Like it's a situation where it's like, oh man, I would just like to have a pair regardless, just because of the history behind it. I'm not trying to,
Yeah.
resell it or anything like that. It's just like, oh, there's a shot to get him again. Cool. But again, if I miss out, I'll see you guys in 2045.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's it.
Like I have no intention of selling them. That's not my motivation at all.
Yeah. But like I said, it's just more of like if I miss out on this one, it's okay. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah,
it's
I'll be
not
all
the
right.
end of
I'll
the
be all right.
world. Yeah, I think we're gonna be okay. Is kind of what I'm getting at, and that should be like the lesson for a lot of people. If you miss out on something, guys, it's okay. It's really
It's okay.
it's nothing.
Yeah,
It's
it's all
nothing to
right.
harp on about. It's like you took the L. You just dust yourself off and just log on the Sneakers app again and take the L the next week.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, so moving on to our next topic, Ja. A pair of threes is a pretty bad poker hand, but in the sneaker world, at the moment, it seems like threes are having a moment. Let's start with the Nike Sabrina 3. It debuted during All-Star Weekend, and it got a pretty cool commercial, which kind of reminded me of the old days. It was to debut the Sabrina 3 blueprint, and you
Hmm.
got Steve Nash in there, you got Tyler Hero in there, you just got a bunch of NBA players, WNBA players in there, and it just reminds me of that old energy, of that old fun, quirky Nike
Yeah.
basketball energy,
Yep.
and it was just a welcome sight. I was like, oh, I remember when Nike used to have fun, and this is fun, and it's just
It was. Or it is, I should say.
yeah, and that's not to say they don't try, they don't put out fun commercials, but it seems like for the most part, it's very serious, very, just, just like I'm an athlete and all that kind of stuff. And, we've kind of gotten
Yeah,
away from
winning is
that, and
everything. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
winning is everything and all that stuff. And we're, and I guess part of it is because it's hard to be funny nowadays. It's hard to be sincere and funny nowadays, and you really got to
Yeah.
try, because a lot of people can kind of see through like people's attempts at comedy or whatever, and kind of, and you kind of run the risk of, if it's not funny, it's not considered funny, people call you out for it, and it's like, oh, so why do we even try? But in this
Yeah.
case, I think it works. I think it's neat to bring in somebody like Steve Nash, who is a legend, former MVP, and is, a point guard. It's the same
Yep.
way that Sabrina is, like, scoring point guard. And yeah, no, and it's just a nice way to introduce people to the Sabrina 3.
Yep. It has a lot of like Tim Allen vibes to it for those that know who Tim Allen is. You probably know him from Santa Claus or The Santa Claus. I think it's called The Santa. Is it Santa Claus or The Santa Claus? One of the
Santa
two.
Claus.
Um, yeah, it has a lot of like home improvement sort of vibes to it. It's cool. It's a fun commercial. Um, not kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. I was like searching for like the thread, but there isn't really one. But it's still fun. It's still fun, still lighthearted. And pretty clever in a couple of places. It reminds me of when I was in high school and I used to draw, like when I doodle while I was in class, and I would write like chairman of the boards or building a brick house or brick house industries and things like that. I would just like make up these names for like random basketball lingo, and I would like design logos and stuff for them while I was in class, supposed to be paying attention but doodling, thinking about basketball. So it reminds me a lot of all those sorts of things.
I think we just discovered something here, people. Jacques Slade is the original board man. It's not actually Kawhi Leonard. Uh,
Ah,
I was like, oh, really? Are those sketches anywhere available, Jacques? Like anywhere? Like, maybe we could just hit them in
um,
the basement, or like, in the storage box or something. Any of that
I
stuff
don't
still floating
think I have
around?
any of that
Maybe you
stuff.
want to
I
share
might
with the
have
world,
some. I might have some rap books somewhere that have lyrics in them that I've like doodled in. But I have no idea where that stuff is right now. It's in storage somewhere. But I know I don't have any school work, but I might have some rap books that where I just like I wrote a song and was like doodling in the corner or something like that while I was just sitting in the studio.
Oh man, so you have a book of rhymes there somewhere? Shout out Nas. You have like your
I
books
do.
anywhere? Oh, cool. Very cool. Is that something that I can see someday? Just because, that'd be very
Sure. Yeah, I
curious
don't
to
care. I
see.
don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I
Yeah, I
thought you
just
were one of
gotta
those people
find
who's
it.
like, no, no, it's one of those like I keep it to myself, that kind of thing. As somebody who has like experienced that, where I'm like, oh, I'm kind of curious to see like your creative process, and they're like, no, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry I asked.
No, I don't mind it at all. It's raps that I thought were cool back then. They're probably terrible
Sure.
now, but I I don't remember the
Yeah.
cadence for any of them or anything like that. But yeah, no shame here. I wrote it down. I wrote it down, so I felt it was important. Obviously,
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, I just had a flashback there for a second when you said okay. I was like anticipating a no. I was like, oh, what?
Oh
Anyways,
no.
the other three that is kind of making a little bit of headlines lately is the Nike Jaw 3. They were revealed like a little bit earlier in the year, like during the playoffs. John Morant
Yeah.
debuted them, but now, like with more colorways coming out, getting people are getting more looks at them. Seems like a lot of people are excited for them, which I'm kind of glad because when I first saw them, I was like, "Ooh, I don't know if people are going to be down for this one." Like I don't like
Hmm.
it's very different from the Jaw 1 and the Jaw 2, which is cool. Like I like the separating themselves from like the previous entries. But I don't know if like they went too far the other direction. But it seems like people are excited for them. I'm just kind of glad to see that there's some excitement back in the basketball shoe space between Sabrina, between Asia, and now Ja, especially with Nike. I just think like we're kind of slowly crawling out of that, digging out of that hole that basketball
Hmm.
shoes have been in a very, very long time.
Yeah, I think I'll be interesting to see how people receive the Jaw 3 on court since it is a low and how much people have been complaining about low cut basketball sneakers lately. So it'd be interesting to
Uh,
see what the response is to his shoe. But I think they're doing a good job. He's obviously balling out, which helps. Like when you ball out in your shoes, it makes things so much easier for brands. Like it must really suck to have a player on the injured reserve that's like one of your signature athletes like that gets hurt. Like that is just a heartbreaker because like it's those balling outs, those highlights. Like that's what gets people invested, are part of what gets people invested in your shoe. And if you're hurt, oh, anyway, I say that not to say that Jaw's going to get hurt, but just to say that I think his shoes are good. I want to try these on just because they are so low cut and they look really low to the ground. So I want to feel that low to the ground, see how much it makes a difference with the ground force and all of that.
right. And you did mention that, like it sucks when a signature athlete gets injured. But I do think we are kind of in a different spot. Like, yes, there was a lot of complaints about, when Tyrese got hurt, where Tatum got hurt and Dame got hurt, where, within like, weeks of each other during the playoffs. But it wasn't the same as when Derrick Rose got hurt. It wasn't people
Oh,
demanding Adidas go out of business. Like, people were like suing Adidas, just getting really, really heated at Adidas, right? It seems like it's just
yeah.
more low cut shoes as a whole instead of Puma, instead of Adidas in terms of like, with Dame. It's in terms of Jordan brand. They're not necessarily blaming the brands, they're just more generalizing low cut basketball shoes instead of like blaming the
Right.
brand. Like not like in the 20 whatever year that was when D Rose got hurt the first time. It, excuse me. It was wild how people were just going after Adidas at that time. And it seems like it's not, maybe maybe I'm just not seeing it. Maybe there is a pocket of people who are like blaming a particular brand, but because of the variety of athletes who got injured and because they were all wearing different brands, I feel like you can't just say, haha, this brand sucks. It's everybody. It's just, so I think, yeah, yeah, it does suck, but I feel like at least this time around, people like understand the nuance and it's just one brand is to blame for everything. It's more like maybe take a look at everything as a whole. And that, while I don't necessarily agree with like the whole low cut basketball shoes are like the sole reason, you can't but help but think that maybe it's like like, it's a percentage. It's like everything else is a percentage. Everything plays a role. I just don't think it's low cut
Mhm.
basketball shoes are like the sole reason.
Yeah, they're definitely not the sole reason. I take the Kobe school of logic here. If that was the case, soccer players would have messed up ankles all the time or messed up knees all the time, and that's not the case. And they move more aggressively, I would argue, and more dynamically than basketball players.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, you see them run around on the pitch and it's like, whoa, like how are they not like all tearing their ACLs all the time, right? And it's like, oh, it's
Right.
because, well, it's part of it is training and part of it is just, they know what they're doing out there.
Yep. They know their bodies well enough to know what they can and can't do.
Yeah. I will say though, going back to the Jaw 3, I like the look, but for me, I think I've actually reached a point where I'm like, I can't see myself ever wearing them. Like, I think I've reached that age where I'm like, I respect it, I get it, but if this was 10, 15 years ago, I'd be all over it. Now I'm like, I'll let the kids cook.
You know what? I think if you actually had a pair to wear, I don't know if you'd still say that. I think because they're at a distance,
Fair.
you're like, because I know a lot of things. I'll be like, I'm never gonna wear those, and then I'll get them in hand and I'll try like put together a fit with them, and I'm like, oh, I guess I will wear these.
Do you have those conversations to yourself, Jacques? Too. I have those
Oh,
conversations too, where
absolutely.
like, especially like the old blog days when sneakers would come all the time to the house, and I'd be like, I don't know, I just don't, I just can't, and then I figure it out. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm good. Let's go.
Yep, I can. Yeah, there's so much stuff in here. Actually, there's one pair that I don't know I will ever wear. Hold on, I'm gonna. We can keep talking, but I just got
Okay,
this
all
pair
right. So while Jacques goes look for,
from
yeah, while
Caterpillar.
Jacques goes looking for the pair. Oh, okay, okay. I thought you were gonna be like go away for like a second. Okay, he actually is away for a second now. But yes, no, the Jaw 3, yeah, maybe Jacques right. I do a 180 on them one if I do actually get a pair, or once I see them in a store or something like that, I might change my mind. But at the moment I'm like, I just can't see it. I just can't see it. And I respect it. I respect it. I love the daringness to go that direction. I will say though, those Air Force Ones that have I think it's a denim version. Like Josh
Mhm.
showed off like some Air Force One samples, and there was like a denim version, and it had the same like tear throughs, and it had like the Jaw logos like in a print inside. I thought those were pretty neat though. Like I could see myself wearing those.
Yeah, see, I haven't worn those. I haven't seen those yet. Right?
Oh,
So
okay, okay,
Caterpillar, of all people, sent me a pair of sneakers,
sure.
and I shouldn't say a pair of sneakers. They sent me a pair of shoes. I should call them, because I guess they were a part of the Apollo moon landing in some way, and
What?
so they sent me these giant. Yeah, they that somehow Caterpillar was involved in the Apollo moon landing, and they sent me this giant shoe. I don't know that I'll ever wear these, especially here in California. I'm just not in the snow enough to justify rocking these, but they're well made. I mean, it's a beautiful shoe,
Sure.
honestly, and it's well
Yeah.
made, but I just don't know when or where I would ever wear these. So
I
my goal
mean,
is to find a place to wear them.
I mean, go to the East Coast, like a couple months ago. I think you would have been fine. you know, like if
I
you
know,
had
go to the East Coast
been.
during the summer. I mean, during the winter.
Mhm. I think you would find a perfect time to wear those. I think you would have been just fine rocking those. Those are pretty neat. It's like a white and gray, right? Like it's like a split white and gray.
Yeah.
Almost like a duck. It's like a duck boot kind of looking thing, right? Yeah.
Kind of like a duck boot.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
those are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Super
could see myself
interesting.
wearing those. Yeah, like if I was, if we were like up in, Lake Arrowhead in, a couple months, several months
Mhm.
ago. Yeah, I could
Yeah.
see myself wearing those. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, again, you just can't imagine it until you actually have it in hand and you think, oh, okay, well, I have this, put it together. Ah, okay. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Make it
So the
work.
Jaw
Make it
3,
work.
I have given me a lot to think about. I don't even know why
Yeah.
I don't know what I would
Just
have to
got to
think
make it
about.
work.
Yeah. He's got to make it work. Yeah,
Just
yeah,
got to
yeah,
make it work.
totally. All right, so moving on to our next thing though, Jacques. New Balance is dropping a new silhouette. It's called the 204L. And
Yeah.
I think it was debuted by one of their celebrity endorsers, Rosalina, I think. I apologize if that's not the exact name, but she's a fairly popular singer overseas. But she was one of the people who debuted the shoe. But it's notable to me because it's a slimmed down version of the shoes that we've been seeing, like your 990s or your
Yeah.
1000s. The tooling is definitely slimmer. It's like almost like
Yes.
Samba like or the Nike Total 90. And I bring those up because there's been a lot of talk, there's been a lot of chatter that the dad shoe era, the chunky shoe era is over, and it's been taken over by the Sambas, the total 90s, your Puma, Suedes and Clydes and all that stuff. Like we are in the slim shoe era now. Um,
Yeah.
and New
Yeah.
Balance, of all the brands who have basically thrived in this era, they were, I would argue out of all of the brands during like this post Jordan Retro, post Yeezy, being the coolest thing ever era, New Balance was probably the one who benefited the most because people love their 990s, their made in
Yep.
USA's, the 550s and all that stuff. They have thrived in this era. And now they're releasing their own version of a slimmed down, casual, but still maintaining a lot of the New Balance energy kind of shoe. So when I look at the 204, do I think to myself, is this the end? Like, is this the end of dad shoe chunky? Because it was there for a while. We were living in it for a hot minute,
Yeah.
right before the pandemic, and then like during the pandemic era, and I would say like it still has its moments now and then, but it's definitely been less and less as your Sambas and your those kinds of shoes have kind of taken over. Like, do you feel like
Yeah.
this is kind of like a nail in that coffin, or are we like we are kind of done with that and it'll come back eventually, just like everything else? Like these things come in cycles, but do you feel like we're kind of over it now, the dad shoe chunky era?
No, I don't think we're out of the dad shoe chunky era. I think that the sneaker market is diversifying quite a bit by,
Mm,
and everybody's kind of falling into their own groups, and there is this like you said, this samba total 90s sort of group of people, and I think New Balance recognizes that, and they're like, okay, our models are really popular. Let's try it and see if we can capitalize on that, because it's very much a like 1970s jogger runner style shoes when outsoles weren't super thick. So I think everyone's kind of going back to that like retro nostalgic kind of vibe with the well, I guess Adidas isn't
mm-hmm,
really going back; they're just bringing stuff. But New Balance is trying to capture that energy, I think, and that's why we
mm-hmm.
see something like this come out, just because it's been so popular. They feel like it's almost like you gotta get into it because everybody else is doing it and it's selling well. Somebody at the company was like, you know what, guys, we should at least try it, and if we can get a couple 100,000 or something like that off of this, that's good.
Yeah. And you see it with like with Nike and Adidas, they're bringing their soccer boots, and they have pretty slim profiles, and they're converting them into casual shoes. So you've got them really buying into this trend. And you're right, maybe it's not so much that like any particular era is dead or anything like that. It's just more like, yeah, it's being fractured. Everything is so there's no more zeitgeist, I guess. There's no more like this is the one. I mean, other than
Mm,
your
yeah,
singular events, like like I said, the undefeated fours. That's a singular event, but
yeah,
that's not indicative of people saying Jordan. Like you're not looking at the undefeated four retro dropping next week and saying Jordan retros are back. You're not looking at it that way. I don't think anybody is necessarily looking at it from that perspective. I think they're just looking at it as like these are coming back and that's it. And then we're kind of just
mhm,
going back to like, oh, Jordan retros are sitting in shelves. So, but there's still fans of them, and then there's obviously still fans of the Chunky Dad shoes, your New Balances, and then you've got your runners, you've got your Hokas and all that stuff out there, Solomon's, thriving and all of that. So it just feels like there's no zeitgeist. There's no like, there's not that one or two shoes that everybody looks to, and it's like that's the one, that's
yeah,
the hot shoe of the
yeah,
moment. It's just more like, oh, these things are popping. Not everybody loves them, but there's a lot of people that love them. But not, it's not like there's no consensus anymore. Now more than ever,
yeah.
I don't think there is a consensus. Like this is the it sneaker, you know?
Yeah, because like something like this, the 204L, like that gives me like fashion vibes, like that low cut fashion girly or fashion guy that wears like that style. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
the low cut style translates to everybody yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, this hasn't permeated the space enough to get to everybody. I think Adidas has the benefit of nostalgia and brand recognition, and that's why the Samba can cook the way that it cooks. I don't know if New Balance has that. Well, they won't have that because this is a brand new model. Um,
Yeah.
and their catalog just doesn't have this sort of archive history that people can be like, oh, I remember that. That was hot back in the day. Like they don't have that moment. They're having that moment now for the future, but prior to, I don't know if they have that sort of cultural cachet.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, yeah, I mean, these things are having the moment, but at the same time, when you see people talk about what is it like that shoe that Pharrell designed, I think the jellyfish, people are excited for those, and those
Yeah,
are just as chunky, just as bulbous as any sneaker that was popular, like it's Balenciaga esque to a certain degree, right? And
one hundred
some people,
percent.
like a lot of people, are excited for those, and a lot of people are excited for those. So just yeah, everybody's kind of like they have their silos, they have their own like this is the thing that's popping for them. It's just that there's no more the sneaker monoculture just isn't around anymore, and yeah, it's fine. you know, it's not something to be
And
like
rightly
because
so.
at the end of
Rightly
the day,
so.
yes, rightly so. And eventually, but the end of the day is like eventually there will be that shoe that just captures everybody's imagination. Like it's just cycles, right? Like we'll get there again someday, and then it will fall off it, and then just so on and so on. We just got to ride it through and enjoy it, and not just like
Yep.
dwell on X things. But yeah, I don't know if I'm actually gonna get a pair of those, like especially if they come out. Like I think they might be like women's exclusive, but I'm sure there's gonna be like men's versions of those too, because New Balance is very much like unisex sizes and all that stuff. So I would like to see them in person just to like get an understanding of how they would create their own versions of their sambas, but retain like but not create like a samba like shoe, but like just have like the way that they design like the 1000s and the five, well, not the 550s, but like the 990s, but have like that like slim down tooling on there.
Yeah. I think I want to try a pair just to see how they feel, just to see how they fit. I don't know how much I would
Yeah,
rock them, but I would get a pair just to try out.
totally, totally. Well, all right, Jacques. I think it's time we talked about that thing at the top of the show that we were like kind of I don't- teasing is a weird word, right? Teasing is like I wouldn't call it teasing. It was just more like, hey guys, just be ready for
Yeah.
this, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
not teasing.
so
This is not something to tease about.
no, no, this is not something to tease about. This is more just like I think we just have to get this out of the way because we do talk about wrestling on Hard Pass quite a bit.
Wrestling.
I'm the bigger fan than you. So, but
Yeah, for sure.
something happened today. That is, I would say if this had happened in 2000, like to going back to the Undefeateds, if this had happened in 2005, I think this would be a pretty bummer moment because in
Yeah.
2005, I
Yeah.
think it was 2005, I think it was WrestleMania, and it was the one at the Staples Center. So, and I got to go with my buddy, my cousin. She was working at a company that had like like a suite. So me and my buddy,
Uh,
we got to go to Mania, and we watched it from a suite, and it was a pretty good Mania, all things considered. And there was one particular segment where oh god, this is gonna look really really bad in retrospect. Um, there was a wrestler who was a actually he's actually an Italian person, but he was portraying a Middle Eastern character. And
uh-huh.
as things go in wrestling, if you're a Middle Eastern character, you're a villain, you're a bad guy. And of course, he was actually just saying things like, I'm being discriminated against, blah, blah, blah. He's actually making a lot of like, if you look at it in hindsight, he actually makes a lot of salient points about being discriminated, being like, targeted and all that stuff. And yet, because it's America, it's like, oh,
America.
boo, boo,
No
boo,
no
and
such
everything, right?
thing.
Yeah, exactly, right. And you're like, guys, I think I think you guys are blowing the wrong things. Man, that was a really wild time. The song "I Am a Real American" plays, and it's like Hulk Hogan shows up, and he is doing the whole shtick. Does the pointing, does the ear thing, does the leg. Well, I don't even think he does the leg drop. God knows, I didn't even think he could do the leg drop at that point. But throws the foreign character out, patriotism, waves the flag, and all that stuff. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, I feel like I'm 5 years old again. At that point, I'm like, oh, the thing that I grew up watching. Yeah. And yeah, I remember like me and my buddy, we were just like so pumped, like, oh, this is the coolest thing and all that stuff, yada yada yada. And like, whole nostalgia and everything. Like, I remember being a kid, just being a big, Hogan fan and all that stuff. And then the preceding 20 years happen, and you're like, screw that guy. you know,
Screw
screw
that
that
guy.
guy, you know? And today is the day that Terry Bollea, aka Hulk Hogan, passed away.
Yep.
And there's a lot of my group chats are either in mourning because I do have a lot of wrestling fan friends. And I do have a
Mhm.
bunch of other, well, not a lot, but like I do have other chats who are just like, screw that guy.
Right.
And and I will admit when I first saw it, I was like, "Aw," but then I was like, "Oh, whatever." But I think I'm kind of at this point where it's like, people, you see a lot of tributes, you see a lot of people talking about it and all that stuff, and it's like, yeah, man, just get it out there. Like, grieve how you want to grieve. But just don't be like preachy. Don't tell people how else to grieve. For me, it's like, yeah, man, he brought a lot of joy. The characters. Here's the thing: is like the character Hulk Hogan brought a lot of joy to a lot of people's lives, and I think I don't know that you can. I don't know that you can poo that, like belittle that or anything like that, because it was real. It was like yes, wrestling's fake, blah blah blah, but the joy that the character Hulk Hogan gave to a lot of kids during that time was real. It meant everything to a lot of people. It's just that the person that played it is a piece of garbage. It turns out the person who played Hulk Hogan was terrible, was a piece of garbage.
Was a piece
And
of shit. A
yeah,
racist piece of shit.
exactly. When we say in Hard Pass racist dumpster fire, that's who it is.
That's who we're talking about.
That's who we're talking about. I think we do say it every once in a while, but we don't always say it. But it's implied it's Hogan. So
Yeah.
thanks for the
Uh,
memories. The character Hulk Hogan, I can never
Yeah.
you can't take that away from me because it happened and I was happy during that time. But the person,
Yep. And that perfectly sums it up. Like I think all of us, there's not I mean, I don't know who wasn't. Everybody was a fan of Hulk Hogan.
mm-hmm,
But it wasn't until we were older that we realized that Terry was a piece of shit.
yeah,
So like Hulk Hogan brought us lots of fun, good times, lots of great times in front of the TV.
yep,
But the person behind the character is just terrible, terrible. So you never wish death upon anybody. But the fact that I think I read something today where he was like even worried that he would be reincarnated as a black person. Like
oh
that's
yeah,
how
that whole thing,
racist he
yeah, that was,
like that kind of racism is crazy. That's crazy racism. So yeah, no no hard feelings for Terry. Like I don't.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm not. I won't cry any tears for Terry. I'll remember the Hulk Hogan for what the character was and how that you know like everybody says brought them joy. But as far as the man, the person underneath the makeup, underneath the spray tan, I'm good. I'm good.
it's like it's tough, right? Like, condolences to his family and all that stuff, but it's just like, man,
Mm-hmm.
he burned so many bridges with so many people that he didn't have to. Like, people got
Yep.
their views, people got their all that stuff, and I get it, but you didn't have to like do it that. You didn't have to go that far. You didn't have to like, And it's like, oh well, he got caught. It's like, yeah, man, but even if you take that out, there's still a lot of bad stories about him. Like if you take
Yep.
away the Gawker stuff, and that thing you mentioned about like he would be scared to be reincarnated as a black man. If you take all of that out, there's still a lot of bad things. There's still a lot of stuff that you heard through the years about him, politicking his way to a top spot and just holding people down. It's just not great, man. Like it, and that's the only thing. That's the only thing that I am a little bummed out about is because the character meant so much to a lot of us, like,
Yeah.
because back then it felt real. It felt real, right? It felt real to a lot of us
Yeah,
kids
back then
growing
you
up.
didn't know. Yeah, as a kid
Yeah,
you
didn't
didn't know
know.
it wasn't real.
And even when you grew up a little bit, right? Even once you started like getting wise to like, oh, it's not actually real. There was still like, that kid in you, And like I
Yep.
said, when
Yep.
I saw that, when that moment of mania, I screamed like I was 5 years old again, and I was like, man. And I still look at that memory fondly. Like I know that's Terry. I know it's that piece of garbage, that piece of crap person, but I don't think about it. Like, I know it's him, but I see Hulk Hogan too. And I'm like, and that's the part that they can't take away. And it's like, it's fine. And it's fine. So whatever. It's happened. It is what it is. And it's like,
It's over.
but
God bless his
but
family.
but
Hope
yes,
they're
exactly.
well.
Yeah.
Hope they make it
But
through. Praying for comfort for them. But as
mhm,
far as Terry the man,
nah.
can't say I'm gonna miss that.
And I wonder how the WWE is going to move forward because, like I said,
Oh, how
if
they're
this
gonna
was,
memorialize him. It's gonna be
yeah,
rosy. It's gonna be flowery. They're gonna I mean you
yeah,
have to get honestly you have to give him his props for what he did for
yes,
wrestling.
hmm
But but again, that was the character he played. It's just, and maybe the WWE will keep it to the
the character,
character and not mention Terry by name.
because I think that's when it starts to. Because the last time he showed up at a WWE thing, he got booed the hell out of the building, and
Rightly so.
that's and rightly so. I think we made jokes about it too, and hey man, the man deserves it. I just wonder though.
You did it to yourself.
You did it to yourself, buddy. But yeah, I wonder the first time they have a show, I wonder what the reaction is going to be. I wonder if it's going to be cheers or if it's just going to be silence. I think the best thing a lot of people, well, again, I'm not going to ask people how to agree, how to react or how to respond. But if I'm in that crowd, I either go to the concession stands or I just stay silent, not say nothing. It's just
Uh,
static white noise as soon as
Just
those
yeah,
jerseys
just keep
show
it
up.
quiet. Don't say anything at all.
Yep. Yep. I'm not standing. I'm not no emotion, just whatever. Let's just get this part over with, right? It's just let's move on with the show.
Yeah.
And yeah. So
Yeah.
anyways, that I can't believe we spent a segment on that. But it is what it is. Just because of like I said, we talk about wrestling quite a bit on the show, and we won't be able to
Yep.
use racist dumpster fire anymore. So that's crossed off the list of tropes that we have on the show. Anyways, it's almost that time, Jacques. We're almost at the end of the
It's that
show.
time.
But before we say goodbye, it's time for Sneaker Mount Rushmore Plus time.
Sneaker Mount War plus plus. It's that time.
Oh, now we're
I
doing songs.
started
Hell
last
yeah.
week, so you get to start this week. But it's
Oh,
for a
we're
sneaker
just
that
gonna
you
get
don't
into it, huh? We're
particularly
just gonna get
care
into it, huh?
for. Yeah, yeah. It's a sneaker you don't really care for. It's the Air Jordan 13. And
Uh-huh.
it's not one of Juan's favorites. So
It's the
let's start
worst
with
Jordan ever made.
we're playing Snake. So the first pick is an OG,
hmm
and then the second one is a non-OG. So I'll let him start with his OG.
Okay, fine. I guess we have to do. We I knew this day was coming, and we have to do this. OG colorway Flint.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's the part of the Dallas Cowboy uniform.
Oh, great! I take it back.
So for
It's still Flint.
me,
I'm still going to Flint, but yeah.
yeah. So for me, I would obviously go. I'll go with the playoffs. Not necessarily my favorite colorway. The Flint would probably be my favorite of the OGs, but I like the playoffs. I think that's a solid colorway, solid sneaker that I think gets some attention. And then for non OG, I would have to go with like the Chicago like red cherry pear.
Mm.
It's like white and red, basically. Really, really nice.
Those are not
Really, really
OGs?
nice. Yeah, those were those. I mean, they came out. Oh wait, no, those did come out. Those are OGs. They're mine. Sorry, I take that back.
Yeah.
Um, then I'll switch that. I'll do Ben 23s for non OGs.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a good one. That's a
They've
good
been
one.
23 for non-OGs. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. High quality. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's a good pair. That's a good pair. It's still a 13s, but it's a good pair. So for
Yeah.
my non-OG, I will say though, again, I don't like the 13s. Everybody knows my feelings on them. The 13 lows are tolerable. For some reason, I look at 13 lows and I'm like,
Mm.
they're not that
Okay.
bad. They're still bad, but they're not that bad. So
Okay.
once we got past
Like
the
where this is
OGs,
going.
yeah, no. So once we got past the OGs, I was like, okay, so I can just pick lows from now on. So for my pick for non-OG Jordan 13s, it's the Brave Blue, which is basically Flint adjacent. It's
Brave Blue. Oh, let me look that up. I don't remember that.
Yeah, no, it's basically the Flints, but instead of the white base color in the upper, it's black. So
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
All
So
right.
I'm going with that. So
I'm
for
not
my
mad at that.
non-OG. And then for my collab, I'm gonna go with the clot. It was
Ah,
Edison
that's a
Chen
good
drawing.
one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a yeah, yeah. I like the way they switched up the stake, as I like to call them. That stake that's on the upper, because like I say, Agent 13s are basically just basketball shoes with two slabs of meat stacked on top of it. So they replaced the stake with
Mm.
something just a little bit less stakey. And I'm going
I
with that.
don't. I don't know if I just don't get the steak comparison. Like if you said pimples or something like that, but the steak, I
The golf
just
ball pimples. I've heard that.
golf ball pimples. I could take that.
Dimples.
That
Sorry, not pimples.
feels
Dimples. Yeah.
dimples. That I mean that feels okay, but I don't know if it's as Anyway, I'll go with the for my collab. I'll go with the what is it? Soulfly. They did a like
So fly.
a light, very light blue and tan one. I think it's called Gone Fishing or Going Fishing or I'd rather be fishing.
Oh, okay.
Very nice, like very super clean, like colorway. Um, very what's the word? Soft kind of colorway. Yeah, I think soft is the right word for it. Very gentle. Um, and then what's the other way? OG, non OG, collab,
Player exclusive.
PE, right?
Yeah,
Player
yeah, yeah.
exclusive. Oh, you got to go Ray Allen. Ray Allen. I know I keep saying Ray Allen for all the PEs, but I think this
It was
last
that good.
couple of sneakers we were talking about, yeah, they were that good. The white and green PEs. It's hard to beat those.
Yeah, you can't really go against those, even though they are like not lows. I mean, I think that's the one he wore when he broke the 3-point record from Reggie. I think that
Yep.
might have been the
Yep.
one. So yeah, no, it's historical. It's awesome. Can't go wrong with that. But since you did pick that, I'm gonna go with the North Carolina pair. And they're also lows, and they're also baby blue, and they are great, tough.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, yeah,
Tough.
no,
Tough.
yeah, no,
I don't
strong.
know if tough and baby blue are in the same sentence, but I mean,
How dare you? How
to each
dare
his
you?
own. To each his
How
own.
dare
To
you?
each his
How
own.
dare you? And I'm still going right. So for my PE, no, that was PE. My wild card.
Wild card, yeah.
Yes, I'm going to go with the Air Jordan 13 Low Golf in white.
Oh, okay. I did
Yes,
not expect
yes,
that. The little curveball there. Curveball
yeah.
there. That's a good one. You know what? I was going to pick a golf shoe, but then I remembered like 2 years ago, maybe more, they did an Air Jordan 13 Christopher Wallace. They did one for Biggie.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I think that was last year, maybe not last year. Gosh, I mean, it definitely wasn't last year's. It was what? How many years ago? Like, I'm going to look this up now because I don't remember what year it was.
You could have told me
Um,
you could have told
23.
me
Oh,
last year,
2023.
23.
Okay, so
Oh,
two
okay,
years.
okay,
Two
yeah,
years.
yeah.
2023. Yeah,
You
I
could have
know it
told me
was
10 years
recent.
ago. I'd be like, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know it was recent, but yeah. So shout out to Biggie.
Mm,
It was with the Christopher
yep.
Wallace Foundation, not actually with Biggie. So, but yeah. Yeah, see, that wasn't that bad. 13s, they're good shoes, man. Despite what Juan is trying to convince you guys, it's a good shoe. He doesn't like the side panel for some reason, but I don't think it
Steak,
looks as bad as he makes it
meat.
seem. Anyway, well,
Meat.
thank you
It's not
guys
even the
for
Kobe
watching.
beef.
Oh, God. Anyway, thank you guys for watching the Too
That
Hard to Pass
Wagyu.
podcast. I am Jacques Slade. That's Juan Martinez. You can find us all over the internet. Email, Juan, tell them email.
The email is toohardtopasspodcast@gmail.com. Again, that is toohardtopasspodcast@gmail.com. That's the number two, numero dos.
The number 2. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you again for
Oh,
watching, listening,
yeah,
like,
there you
comment,
go.
subscribe, and all that good stuff. Don't forget to leave those questions in the mailbag. We'll do a mailbag eventually. And next week we will see because Jacques is gonna be out on vacay. He's gonna be
That's
on a
true. So we'll see
boat,
what happens next week. I don't know who he's going to
a
bring in
private
here next
yacht.
week. Oh, well, this
Along
is
with
all
the
lie.
rich
All right.
with the
All right. Let's
riches.
wrap it up.
I think
Give him
Max
the wrap up
Verstappen just bought
sign.
a boat, and like Jacques was there too, shopping for a similar boat. And yeah, I think we're just gonna
Let's
be
get the wrap
seeing
it up
him out
sign.
and around, just traveling the world. So if you see him on your private yacht, just wave and just say hello,
Oh,
Jacques. Juan sends
so
his
many
regards.
inaccuracies.
Juan sends
So
his
many
regards from his
inaccuracies.
home, his humble home. In the 909, while Jacques is in no area code because he's just out in the seas. Who knows where he could be? He could be he could be in
Brutal.
Europe. He could be in Asia.
Brutal.
He could be everywhere. He could be everywhere, anywhere, all at once. Shout out to that movie. That was a great movie. But yes, he is traveling the world for the next week or so. So if you see him, just wave and say hello because you're not going to be able to really actually see him because the yacht is so high. It's going to be so high up on top. You're just going to be like this. You're just going to look like a little ant waving at Jacques.
I can't end this. I would end this if I could, but Juan has control. So this is all factually inaccurate
I love
information.
that shirt though,
Thank you
by the way. I
guys.
think it's a great shirt.
Yeah,
I just
shout
noticed
out
it
to
right now.
Nightwing. Yeah, shout out to
Oh, that's a
Nightwing. He sent
Nightwing.
me
Oh, nice,
the
nice, nice.
Sense his Sense apparel line. He sent me 2 shirts. The other one is on the other side of the room, but yeah. Wore it today for a hard pass and I wore
Oh,
for heat check. I didn't wear it for hard pass. But yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, listening, all the good stuff. Leave us a good comment, leave us a recommendation, all of the things, and I'll see you in 2 weeks, and Juan will see you next week with a mystery guest.